First, I'm a millennial. Second, I love being a millennial. So I think this whole thing about like millennials are so bad or whatever, I think it's like older generations projecting things on us. Like the whole avocado debate, like, oh, millennials are so financially unstable because they buy avocados. Well, man, I'm trying to be healthy compared to your generation. Why is that a bad thing? Or the fact that we live at home with our parents after we go to university. I just put myself through school. I'm making the financial decision to not put myself in more debt. Like, this whole idea that a millennial is narcissistic and bad, it comes from outside. I don't know a single millennial who doesn't like being called millennials. I think internally there's a sort of a grit.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you
Okay,
do.
well, I feel like internally there's sort of like a millennial grit. Like we have to go through stuff that no other generation has gone through, and we come together as millennials and say, yeah, we're going through terrible things, but we're millennials and we're gonna make it and we're gonna do it, and that's my love for millennials.
So Christian, how do you feel? You're not into it.
I just feel like the groups that I want to be identified with are the ones that I can choose to put myself in. Like what I'm interested in, what I do, what I study, where I live, where I go to school, what I want to do with my life. Not things that I'm just so selected into because of when I was born, which is the most arbitrary thing. Like millennials, you're talking about people born in 30 years, that's hundreds of millions of people. And to say that the stereotypes, I'm forgetting about the stereotypes, but like the negative connotations that are associated with like the laziness and the narcissism and that kind of thing. Like some of the stuff, like we never hire millennials. And like we cater our advertising to millennials. Like, it kind of sets me off because I'm me. I'm not a generation.
I think that's really interesting that you say that you don't want to be categorized as things that you didn't get to choose, because I think that that is like a viewpoint that you could only possibly have if you like didn't belong to a lot of different identities that don't have that luxury, right? Like I think like that's a really specific place to come from.
Yes.
So I think like I personally have no problem with, I mean, I don't have a problem with the term millennial. People bash millennials, that's fine. I'll take it, but I'm gonna dish it back at baby boomers like way harder than they come at me. So that's fine. Like you can talk whatever you want to talk about millennials. Like you ruin the earth. Like well, ever heard of climate change?
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's my thing. I feel exactly what you feel, but I hate when people call us millennials because like people always like just yesterday I heard someone say, "Oh, you millennials are so sensitive. You're the reason why we can't call other people gay, or the reason why we can't call brown people packy." And I'm just like, wow. Well, like the thing is, I don't feel we're too sensitive. It's that we care because like when I think of like a gay man, what if that was me? What if my wife is gonna be a hijab woman? What if my wife is gonna wear a niqab? So that's when I care. Well, so that's the thing. It's like their generation just feels like, oh, because it's not me, I won't care. No, I feel like our generation cares. And our generation, that's why I don't like being called millennial, because when other people call us that, it's just like such a bash to us. It's like,
you know what I think is really interesting about millennials is I think we're really the first group who's had access to any sort of information. Like if you think about the creation of the internet, you can go online and you can search up anything and get a whole bunch of information about anything from all of these different products that we have. If you think about generations before, you know, you were only like constricted to your societal beliefs and your cultural beliefs and like what you could get in, you know, a meager library. Like the biggest library is still the tiniest drop in the pool of the internet. So I think it's really interesting to think of like millennials are expanding our knowledge and like expanding the way we view like equality and equity.